I received an awesome question and I wanted to answer it and share that with you. Without further ado, let's get into it. The question is, good morning. I have my question. Drum roll. Love it. How do I become the person, all in caps, the go-to for chronic fatigue? Thank you so much. I would love to answer this question. How do you become known, positioned as the go-to for chronic fatigue, or enter in whatever condition you love to help people overcome or eliminate in their lives? Number one, really know that condition. And it doesn't have to take you long. It took me seconds, literally less than a minute, to do a little bit of research on the CDC and on the internet to find out that as of December 14th, 2023, according to the CDC, 3.354 million Americans are affected or are experiencing chronic fatigue. Did you know that? Number two, it costs the US economy $18 to $51 billion annually. There's a huge impact here. Women are more likely to experience it than men. And it's also known as myalgic encephalomyelitis. Okay, number one, understand that condition so that you can speak that language. Number two, how do you position? We need to figure out if somebody's experiencing this condition, chronic fatigue, what are their top 10 problems, and then you can let everybody know you have the secret sauce in solving those problems. So first of all, understand the condition, and be able to just off the tip of your tongue, rattle this stuff off. 3.354 million Americans are affected by chronic fatigue. I can tell you that after just looking it up for a couple of minutes. Women are more likely to experience it than men. It's costing the US billions of dollars, almost $50 billion every year to work with it. So have that at the ready. Then number two, let's understand what are their biggest challenges. I went on AI and I said, give me the top 10. I want the top 10 for this part of it. What are the top 10, the top 5, the top 3 challenges that people with chronic fatigue see? A lot of people might not even know they have chronic fatigue, but they do know, here are the top 10. They do know that they just have limited energy levels. Do you or anybody you know have weirdly poor energy levels? And you have cognitive impairment, and you have an unpredictable symptoms. It's like one day you feel good, one day you don't. You might have chronic fatigue. And in fact, did you know 3.54 million people are affected in the US by that? So you might be getting people's attention. Don't just go out there and say, hey, if you have chronic fatigue, come to me. They might not know they have it, but they know they have these symptoms. So number two, find out what the top 10 symptoms are, and then go to the top 3 to 5. These are them. I looked it up. It took me seconds. Let me just show you the output of it. I can share my screen rather than me read it to you and bore you. But this was it. I just copied and pasted this from AI. I went into ChatGPT. Please give me the top 10 challenges for people affected by chronic fatigue. Here it is. Limited energy, cognitive impairment, challenges in diagnosis. Do you go to several doctors and nobody really understands what's going on with you? You've tried everything. I have the secret for you. Employment challenges, mental health impact, lack of understanding, limited treatment. Okay, so that's number one. Understand what their biggest challenges are so that you can communicate to the world that if you or anybody you know is experiencing chronic fatigue or you can use the myalgic encephalomyelitis, also known as ME. I'm your go-to natural approach to it. Many people with chronic fatigue syndrome may be given pharmaceuticals and they don't want that. So you might come out and say, if you or anybody you know or struggle with chronic fatigue, there's no reason to struggle a day further. If you don't want to take medications or you're unhappy with the diagnosis or with the care you've been receiving, I have a secret. I have ancient and modern day approaches to getting you to help you overcome chronic fatigue. Don't spend another day with chronic fatigue. I have some secrets. Now, in your communication, maybe you give one secret. give one of your good tips. Say, these are my top 5 do's and don'ts. These are my top 3 do's and don'ts for anybody experiencing chronic fatigue. Give them your top 3 and say, if you want more, come and see me, email me. You can come and see me. My practice is here in San Diego. I'm all about natural approaches for overcoming. In less than 12 weeks, I can help you overcome chronic fatigue. Notice I have not mentioned your modality. If you're an acupuncturist, if you're a chiropractor, if you're a naturopath, I haven't even mentioned any of that. I'm just telling you, I know you want to overcome it. And I'm telling you, I have a secret and I'm going to share a little bit of it. When you go to Costco, you don't know you're going to buy that spinach ravioli until you get that sample. And you're like, oh, that was good. And you throw it in your cart. So give people in your communication out into the world, in your email blast, to your newsletters, your social media posts, give them a little sample of something you would offer somebody to help them overcome the chronic fatigue. All right. Or enter in the condition of your choice. So the sample approach is one. You got to understand what their problems are and then how you can solve that. How are you different? What's your secret sauce? For many of you, your secret sauce is natural approaches. For many of you, your secret sauce is that you're not using drugs or surgeries, that you're going to do a natural approach. You are going to reignite the body's ability to heal itself. The body, you can let everybody know, your body knows how to overcome chronic fatigue. It just forgot. So I will help it remember. And that's how you lead. The other thing is, how do you become known as that? When you're out in the world, you let everybody know that you love helping people overcome chronic fatigue, rather than, I'm a practitioner of Chinese medicine. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a naturopath. Now, when you're out in the world and somebody says, hi, what do you do for a living? You know what I do for a living? I help people overcome chronic fatigue is what I do. I do it all day and I love it. Wow, my cousin has chronic fatigue. How do I get your information to them? Do you notice that? That's how you become known. And you just become your own walking advertisement. You're at a restaurant and somebody says, how are things? What's new? And then you share with that person, oh my gosh, my practice is just doing so well. One of the things I love doing, and I'm doing it all the time, is helping people overcome chronic fatigue. Just this week, I had a 48-year-old woman with chronic fatigue for 10 years. After 4 sessions, she had 0 symptoms, or she had energy level that went from a 2 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. Anybody in that restaurant that can hear your conversation is going to walk over and go, I'm so sorry to bother you. I heard you say you help people overcome chronic fatigue. And I kind of heard that story, and that sounds a lot like me, or that kind of sounds a lot like my cousin. That's why I always use the language, if you or anybody you know, because many of us in practice or in our business, we think our marketing should just go to the recipient, to that patient or that ideal client, when in fact, the net needs to go out wider because our loved ones are looking out for us, right? If my cousin has chronic fatigue and I overhear you say that you can help overcome it, I'm going to come and get your information for my cousin. So always using the language, if you or anybody you know, let people know this is something that you can say, I specialize in it. I have some secrets, ancient and modern for it. Let people know that you love to help people overcome this and that you have some secret sauce. What's your secret sauce in it? You know, maybe you have a certain modality within your practice that's cutting edge. You're using PEMF or you're using photobiomodulation, and that's been the one thing, or you found this supplement that's like the magic cure for it. That also goes into your communication out into the world, and then to your emails that go out to your patients, your clients, the people out there. The other way you become known as the go-to is on social media. Answer any questions about it. So be on there and do a Google search for chronic fatigue, and then go into those groups and answer questions just freely. Hold workshops, free webinars. Say, hey, I love helping people overcome fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. I love helping them overcome it. So on Wednesday, December 15th, I'm going to hold a free webinar, and I'm going to give you my top 10 ways that you can naturally overcome chronic fatigue on your own. You're not going to want to miss this. If you or anybody you know are suffering or have suffered from chronic fatigue, no longer come to my free webinar. Then those people sign up for your webinar. They give you the email. You email them the link. You can do this all through Zoom, automated. They come to your webinar. You pour into them. And at the end of the webinar, you say, if you would like to receive sessions, I have a chronic fatigue program. It's a 12-week program. And at the end of the program, you will absolutely feel way better. I can guarantee, because in my practice, it takes about 10 sessions, 8 sessions over a course of 12 weeks to get you over that threshold of experiencing this. So come and join my program. Create a container for people to come to you. Chronic fatigue, in my opinion, doesn't just go away overnight. So don't offer a single session to these people. Say, I have a program and I'm committed to you. I want you to commit to me. Join the program. The program is once a week sessions with me for 12 weeks, 10 sessions within the 12 weeks. And after that, we will get you farther to the point of overcoming this. Just depends on how severe it is. Maybe it only takes the 12 sessions or the 12 weeks, 10 sessions in 12 weeks, or maybe it takes longer, but you know that they're going to have significant results in those 12 weeks. So then the third thing that you can do is you found out what their biggest challenges are. So you're going to address those. Like mental health impact. Coping with a chronic condition like fatigue can contribute to mental health challenges, anxiety, and depression. So you can start to say, hey, if you or anybody you know has been suffering from chronic fatigue for a while, it really takes a toll on your mental health and can easily lead to depression. The beautiful thing about my medicine is that it approaches both naturally. It puts you in such a balanced state that it will solve any depression and anxiety that's a result of the chronic fatigue, and it'll go to the root of the chronic fatigue. I know I have a special skill. I have, maybe you have some sort of energy medicine that's part of your practice. That's the special sauce that gets them past that or gets to the root of the chronic fatigue. Maybe it's a mind-body connection and you know the answer and how to get them finally over it. Maybe conventional methods haven't worked, but you haven't tried mine. Mine is not so conventional. It's ancient with some modern, and it's going to help. That leads to the third thing. Many of you are natural or a natural approach to overcoming. I know this person that asked this question is a natural practitioner. And so I went on to AI and I said, please give me natural approaches to chronic fatigue. So here we are. I'll share it again. It came right out of AI. Here they are. These are some important natural approaches to chronic fatigue: rest and sleep, balanced diet, gentle exercise, stress management, supplements, mind body, cognitive behavioral therapy, support, social support, alternative therapies. You can type into ChatGPT, what are essential oils for chronic fatigue? What are gemstones? What are acupressure points for it? You can compile all this information and then create a little book like this, Natural Tools for Nurses Pocket Guide. You could create a little book called Natural Approaches to Overcoming Chronic Fatigue, and you publish this book. This is a book I published. It took me an hour and a half total from start to finish to write and publish this book on KDP. You could do the same, and that is another way you become positioned as the go-to. Publish something on the subject. This did not cost me a lot. This entire project of doing this book cost me maybe $80 because I chose to pay a editor to go in there and edit it so that I could upload it into KDP Publishing. You don't have to. You can figure it out yourself. Now it's free. I paid a designer $25 to design the cover for me. You could do yours for free too. So it doesn't have to cost you anything. You publish a book like this, people are going, wow, this person really knows. They even have a book on chronic fatigue. And then you can hand this book out. This cost me about $1.75 to print it through Amazon, KDP Publishing. And this is my calling card, my friend. I don't have business cards. I hand you this. You have chronic fatigue? I'm so sorry. I created this pocket guide for chronic fatigue. I'd like you to have it. And if you want to come in, I have an amazing chronic fatigue program. I help hundreds of people overcome chronic fatigue every year. I'd love to help you too. But until then, here's my book. No more business cards. And if you do have a business card, your business card says, I help people overcome chronic fatigue. Come and see me. All right. I'm trying to be fun and lighthearted because let's have it be fun and lighthearted. Marketing yourself doesn't have to be like, where you dread it. It can be fun and it can come from your heart. And I would love for you to be positioned as the go-to in chronic fatigue or whatever condition you love to help people overcome. See, there are people out there right now, I am confident, that are looking for you. And I want them to find you. So consider me like the little matchmaker getting you matched up with them, right? So while this was on chronic fatigue, you can apply this to any other condition. I love helping women conceive naturally. I help women have babies, whatever it might be. I help people overcome pain. You do the same process. I hope this has been helpful. This email video is going to go out to the person that asked for it first, and then it'll go out to everybody in hopes, genuinely from my heart, hopes that it helps in some way with making your life a little easier out there in solopreneur land. Okay. Bye for now until I have another question and I'll send it out. Thank you again for sending in the questions. These are awesome.